Hi everyone, and welcome back to the channel for some more Spin for the Win at the Cap. As it's that time of year again, I thought maybe we could have a quick run round the night revels, a little discussion on some of the new stuff that's on offer this time around. There isn't that much new. I think it's just a couple of cosmetic things. And for those of you more new to the event, just to throw in a few suggestions about some of the nice things that you could pick up, at least one of which I can see on my hotbar right now. I'll go ahead and mention it in case I forget. If I do forget, it'll be a crime. It's a lifesaver. You can cast it on yourself or on a friend. 50% festive bonus to dodge that ignores the dodge cap, so would send most people up towards the sort of 60-70 dodge area for that precious 25 seconds. If you're getting savaged by a Doom Reaper or something, it could easily be the difference between life and death. So let's go and get stuck into the quests first. One thing I will say about most, if not all of them, if you're considering running them, several times to acquire ingredients. I try not to use the F word farming in here because I hate that so much. But if you are considering that, then definitely consider a build with that has some pretty heavy AOE. That would be the strongest, to clear things in a quick time in here. We fall into that category here. We've got, as you'll have seen if you've seen the series so far, four lovely AoEs. We've got our 2-chain attacks, Quick Cutter, and Whirlwind. Two of them, these two, are on a very short cooldown, so they just make short work of the big piles of zombies and things that are in here. But a sorcerer or most most caster nukers would be better still, I think. I'm thinking of a sorcerer just going unloading with the delayed blast fireball and meteor swarm. I think that could be a very proficient clearer of these quests. Other thing to mention, there are obviously five different types of ingredient if you include the spectral dragon scale that come from this one into eternity. Those scales are only used for as far as I know, for the various cosmetics on offer from the event. So if that's not your thing, you don't even need to run this one. I recommend you try and do them at least once a life for a big boost to XP. My personal preference is in early epic to run the things at, well, as high a level as my character can take for a big boost. I've on this life with fools, I did them at around 23, I think, and I did them at level 39, and they were giving well into the 100,000 each quest. So well worth doing, because plenty of them are pretty quick to complete as well. So just a nice little leg up in early epic. My personal choices for each ingredient: for the almonds, I like to go with the Kobold's newest ringleader. A little bit slower to complete than this new Ravagement one, but gives out more ingredients. For the apples, I like Gravework because I cannot stand smashing pumpkins, and I don't think I'm on my own there. So Gravework for the apples. For the, what does this one give? Let's have a look. Cinnamon, Hayweird Foundry. That gives the most cinnamon of the quests that give out that. And the Lord's March Palace, as far as I can tell, is the only choice for the caramels. So that's my choice for that one. The only one I really am not keen on in here is this one, the newer one, the Shop Till You Drop, because it's one of those where there are several different. Actually, there are two I'm not keen on. I just mentioned the other one, the pumpkins. there's actually a mechanic in pumpkins as well where the thing can be hidden in several different places. I don't particularly enjoy running around looking for the wherever the hiding place is when I'm supposed to be just collecting ingredients quickly and off you go on to the next one. Same thing with this. I think there's a stage where you have to look for hiding places and that kind of thing. So not really my scene, but the rest of them I do like, particularly as I said for leveling. So let's have a quick Raz round. Not gonna bother. Oh, I haven't got any sound on, have I? That would help. That better? Okay. Not gonna bother over much with the buffs, just a couple of little bits to help us on our way.
Enter the tavern, you notice the smell of rot in the air.
Do the things come from down here? Yes, they do.
Gruesome shapes begin
I think it's
to
up, down,
fall
up, down,
from
up,
the
down here,
ceiling
isn't it?
above. Pounding can be heard from down below.
Where is it then? Here we go.
A mummy and its servants drop from
Is
the
there
roof.
anything going to
creature
appear
hisses.
down here? Nope. Okay. Please don't give me mummy rot. I think we'll do an uncanny dodge here. Try and avoid the aforementioned mummy rot.
Crumbles to bits. With the mummy gone has been
Happy days.
slain.
For some reason we can't use the doors here. And also another pet peeve, the chests almost invariably contain just trash. Aside from that, I think that went okay. So that one, as mentioned, gives almonds, but the one I choose for almonds is this next one. It gives more, but does take significantly longer. So if keys is your is not your limiting factor, then maybe go for that first one.
An overwhelming stench assails you as you begin to explore the hideout.
Oh, my bad.
Filth has been slain.
So you can see we're going from one pile to the next pile to the next pile, so massively helpful to have the AoE. I would not want to be doing this on a thrower build or something similar.
The rune begins to glow. It looks very similar to a rune found on the locked door in the central core.
That's one thing I quite like about the chain attack. You can trigger it and you can be moving forward like towards the next things in the pile of opponents, and it's still sort of flailing away killing stuff. Oi, don't want that.
The guttural groans of shuffling undead can be heard through the door. A muffled voice squeaks.
Right, you serve me now.
Oh,
The door shatters as several creatures shamble the skeleton as Malkyric crumbles to dust. A feeling of calm settles throughout
yeah, I think,
the room.
do you get, is it 23 ingredients for that first one? Here we got 46, so it might actually be a wash. You might be able to get two of the first one done in the time it takes to do one of these. So if keys is not an object, it's probably a viable choice. Oh, this is the other option for the cinnamon. Much quicker than the hey, is it the haywire quest that also gives cinnamon? Much quicker than
The
that,
distant sounds of
but
panicked voices and scattered fighting
doesn't
echo from
give
the
nearly so
wall.
much. So
The
again, if keys
moonlight
is
reveals a path amongst the
not a
rooftops.
limiting thing, you might want to go for this
The
instead.
sound of fleeing townsfolk rises from below. The door begins to strain as a creature thrashes against it.
No
The
mummy rot
mummy
for us,
collapses
please.
into a pile of scattered bandages and fetid dust. The door opens. In the distance, you can see a lever, which seems to control the neck. The gate opens, revealing a courtyard and a ladder. Dark creatures begin to open. The ladder slides into place, allowing access to the rooftops above. The zombie in the courtyard looks strangely familiar. Roderick Nettle's undead form
I
slumps.
quite like the fact
tattered
they're
form falls in
a
defeat,
lot of them are like
and the
rehashed
feeling of
versions
dread
of
that
standard quests,
surrounded the
sometimes
Lich
done backwards.
fades.
I think it's quite nice, and like in the case of the all of them, you've got like little pumpkins thrown around, and they've Halloweenified them. I think particularly on the Lord's March one, they're getting ahead in Lord's March. There's like trails of pumpkins telling you which is the right way to go to find some of the various objectives. This one can be a bit of a learning curve to find. Well,
An
for a start,
unnatural
you
darkness
need
has
to speak
descended
to
upon
Doris
this
at the
valley.
start. That's part of
A
the
necromancer has made
quest.
his home somewhere in these desolate woods.
But to find
You'll need
the
to find him before you can
order of
face
the
the main
things to get
enemy.
things done in a reasonable time, we need to then go to the necromancer up this hill. And after that comes the real nice shortcut of the
You
piece.
found the necromancer, but the spellcaster is under attack by a group of scarecrows. Grimsby the necromancer hands you an enchanted talisman. Now to find a way into the seemingly abandoned village.
For this particular task, I regret only putting 1 point in the Frenzied Berserker sprint boost, but it's still very nice. Going towards the pumpkin patch, marked on the map here. It's another star objective.
A gnarled mass of pumpkins and vines rises from the swamp.
You really want to be trying to do these optionals, whatever your goal is. If it's to maximize ingredients, you'll get more by doing all the stars. If it's to maximize XP, same thing. So nice shortcut there with the ballista to get right outside the end fight, which is marked on the map as well here.
You found the chieftain's final resting place. You remove the necromancer's talisman from
And
your
the last
belt
two
and hold
objectives
it
to
out
kill
toward the
the
gate. Before you know it,
Minotaur Lord
portal
here,
appears.
and also a
The
certain
Matador
number of
chieftain glares down
Minotaurs.
at you as he
Doesn't
steps
matter
through
what
the
order
portal.
you do them in.
How brave of you coming to face me. But when I kill you, you'll regret making the trip.
Come on, come all. Okay, there we go. I think we can just DDO back to Doris. Although there is a catapult thing up there, as there is in the original quest, to take you back if you don't have that facility. Pumpkins I'm definitely not doing. I would typically do it once when looking for XP when leveling, but certainly not for the ingredients. I would definitely always go for the grave work. It gives the same ingredient, the apples. This one's nice, quite like this one. I think this one and the
There
foundry.
have been rumors of strange
No,
things
this one
stirring
and
within the now
the palace,
abandoned
the Lord's March
Haywire
Palace,
foundry.
are perhaps my two
All
favourites
seems quiet here now.
amongst this set of quests. I'm not too fussed about killing every single thing, just try not to create a dungeon alert. I always seem to take a wrong turning in here somewhere.
A dusty puzzle wheel sits here, dormant and unsolved.
I think I missed half of those beggars.
A pale form stands before you. Then it grins slightly, revealing a set of fangs that betray the creature's
My
true nature.
guildmate assures me he's had some top level... Oh, well done me. He's had some top level diamonds out of there, like stat bonus 14. But I've only ever had rubbish out of those chests so far. I suppose technically a card of curse cleansing could come from one, so I will persevere. But I'm not overly optimistic. I think I've done a reasonable job of keeping the dungeon alert down. For those of you who don't know, the higher the dungeon alert, particularly bosses take a lot of beating then, because
A
they
spectral
gain
form materializes
more...
nearby.
Well, they gain a
Chill of
set of
fright
buffs, don't
runs
they,
down
based
your
on how high
spine
the
as you
dungeon
approach.
alert is. So it can often be counterproductive to run along and create a big dungeon alert. You get to the end and you find you can only barely scratch the end boss, and it takes forever to do. At least that's been my experience. Okay, so the last... Oh no, we were doing the Eternity as well, aren't we? Lord's March is the last of the circle of quests that I like to do.
Tales have been told of strange disturbances inside Lord's March Palace. You enter the darkened building to investigate.
Find it quite nice to have a DDO for this one. Again, trying not to create too much of an alert. Just have to unrage to be able to do the DDO out. Back to the... Ah! What was I saying about no dungeon alert? And again, it's quite easy to do, particularly in this one. Oops.
Delicious. It's hard to eat just one.
Go on, this is a chest where we find our... Nope. Rage off. Oh, I can't. I'm gonna have to run back. I have no... Now this is gonna get me. I'm gonna end up lost here. Is it back through there? Oh, that wasn't too bad, was it? Yeah, I think the D-Door, when you are getting it through Shadow Dancer, has a significantly longer cooldown, doesn't it? If I remember right, the Sorcerer one is on a minute or less. Is it even 30 seconds? But this one's definitely 2 minutes. I think I might be making history here and posting the Night Revel episode at a time when the event's still on. I went through a really silly phase of having a big backlog of recordings that I wanted to upload, and as a result of that, a lot of the stuff that I was posting, the event it was relating to, or the news item it was relating to, had already long since gone, and it just it seemed almost irrelevant. Thankfully, we've moved on a little bit since then. Okay, not too shabby. So let's go and try our hand against the dragon, Eternity. I can't decide whether to... I understand the horse. I was going to hunt for the purple horse, which is new this year. But apparently the purple horse is actually blue. I was going to take the purple horse for my purple character, as I have a red horse for Red Ruin, but since it's blue, I'm sort of stalling a bit. I'm not sure. Might see what state the ingredients are in towards the end of the event and then make a decision then.
Eternity, the spectral dragon, lies imprisoned far below Dalera's graveyard.
You know, I've already gone wrong.
Its jailer, Yvonne, is eager to speak with you. To imprison the spectral dragon, you must relight the crystals that power the central oculus. Cultists loyal to Eternity have broken in and disabled the mechanism that held the spectral dragon. You must reopen the oculus before Eternity breaks free.
Okay. Oh. Hello. There's always one. A reluctant customer.
As the lever is pulled, the gem above shoots a light beam towards a nearby mirror. As the beam hits the crystal, a voice from the central chamber bellows in rage.
Servants! Stop these intruders before they ruin everything!
That's the plan. And now the old puzzle. Now then, oh, it's got to come out of there, hasn't it? And then round, that's it. The astute amongst you have probably already decided that this is one that I don't do quite so often, and you would be right. Well, to be honest, I think most people would tend to do this one less, just because I think I'm right in saying it's just the cosmetic type stuff that comes out of this one.
A beam of light
So if you're not too bothered about horses or Reaper armor or whatever else there is on offer of that nature,
from the central chamber.
then you wouldn't need to do this one at all, aside from one time a life for XP purposes.
I shall not be imprisoned again!
The magic that kept the gate locked vanishes as the creature falls. Moonlight shines down upon Eternity, making the spectral dragon vulnerable to your attacks. The door to the upper area closes behind you, trapping you in the chamber.
Oh, she's already not damageable. Okay, so we just have to wait now for the door to open again, I guess. That's my dark gift that I got from the chain reward from Lamordia. We've got like
Yvonne calls to you from
a slightly different version of the Dayfic warding feat,
the gate to the west,
which is
now
quite
open,
handy. It's enabled me
allowing
to
you
reach
return
our
to the
max
outer
MRR, and when we do get hit, I try not to get hit. It's kind of a dodge heavy build, so
creatures emerge,
not
surrounded
trying to
by
get hit, but when it
necromantic
does
energy
happen,
and dangerous to any who approach.
we can benefit by a little bit more extra PRR, which isn't terrible. I think at one stage those things only took off 1 health, but now they've modified them. They can hit quite nastily, so just be a little bit wary about passing through several of the beggars. I must admit, having to redo the puzzle is not particularly the high point of my time in this chain.
A deep mechanical scraping can be heard as the oculus grinds open. In the central chamber, eternity bellows in outrage. Eternity bows
Happy
in
days.
bathed in the moonlight. The spectral dragon freezes in place as her magical bindings return. Eternity
Okay, so
is a
that's the
prisoner
chain.
once more.
Let's have a quick look through the gear that can be gotten. See if I can remember the half decent things or the things that I've had some joy with in the past. So it's in two different categories. We've got the consumables first, like augments and that kind of stuff, if it will show up. Thank you. So Ruby of Ghostbane, yes, nice to have. There are sources from even from quite low down in named loot. One of the early ones I can think of is the ethereal ring from Saltmarsh level 3, which can give you the same effect, but there's no guarantee that everybody has all these packs, so that's a nice thing to have just to stop you having all the pain, particularly against Reapers, but there are other Wraiths and Ghosts and that kind of stuff. So yeah, pick yourself up one or two of these. The others I haven't messed too much with. It's been the Ghostbane one of those three that I would see as the most valuable. Perhaps these things are more. What does it do? That light damage on heat. Well, it's silver bypass, if that's a thing. I wouldn't say silver was one of the bigger ones to look for. I think for those of you not familiar with the priorities there, I think adamantine, most would agree, is the biggest DR breaker to have. You can have that via the augment, the deconstructor, if you don't have it on anything else. Good would be the second one, and that can be gotten for 20 tokens of the 12, a ruby of good. Third would probably be cold iron, would it? And then maybe silver might be a fourth one. I don't think you'd suffer too much by not having it, but just nice to know it's there. And the Endless Night, I think, yeah, a negative level on Vorpal hits. I think there are probably better things to put on like on an endgame weapon than that. Not least the damage breakers that I've just mentioned, if you don't have those on your build. Festival Solar only goes on random loot as far as I'm aware. Yeah, non-crafted, non-named weapon. So yeah, it's got to go on random loot. And it's a pretty lukewarm effect as well. It doesn't scale or anything. Now these are where the money is. Festive Con, Festive Wisdom, Festive Intelligence. Definitely pick up some of those if you don't already have. They will be worth shards on the auction houses. They are not, of course, they're not bound in any way, so you can freely trade them to friends, swap, sell, whatever you want to do with them. They're reasonably priced, 60 of everything, not terribly difficult to get. I think we were getting between 40 and 70 of most things in that run round, weren't we? So a couple of runs, and you'd for sure have enough for at least one augment. Now then, uses for leftover chocolate. Potion of Death Ward would be one, although I would tend not to get that because there are so many other clickables options for that same effect in the game. I think the one I would tend to go for would be this one, Potion of Resto. I've suffered plenty in the past with stat damage and being made helpless. Of course, if you're helpless, you can't drink the potion. But if something's taken a big chunk out of one of your stats and you want to restore it, maybe you're under fire and you can't use a scroll, or you're just not that proficient in UMD. This is the thing. I definitely recommend getting a stack of those with leftover chocolate. Now then, that not terrible for those dealing in light and alignment spell power. I think you can gain the same effect from the things like in the portable hold, the elemental type stuff. But those are gated. I think you'd need to be at least level 20 to get something like this. So, given that the minimum level here is 1, could be worth it if you have a build that could use it. What is that? A small... Does that count as a weapon enchant? This if... yeah, an item may only have one temporary effect at a time. I wonder if this would mean that, like, it would get cancelled if you put something like elemental weapon or deadly weapons or something, as often gets put in raids and what have you. I haven't messed too much with that. I think those are consumables, aren't they? Yeah, so I guess you could have fun with some of these down at the low levels. I think I saw one, not from this event, a snowman thing that was level 10 at level 1 was really tearing things up, but not really for me. And the draft of midnight is to gain more chocolate, isn't it? Or to gain chocolate from from other things than the Delira's graveyard. So I think the place of choice for that is the what's it called? That endless zombie spawn in the haunted halls of Evening Star, because it's undead that can drop the chocolate, isn't it? I think that's the best use for that. I cheated and bought a load off the auction house recently. It's not been a bad use actually for spare platinum. I raised the point in a video some time ago. What do you folks do with your spare platinum? Because there seems little use for it. Well, buying keys and resources for this event, if you want anything from it, could be one such use. Okay, so the consumables, Too Long Didn't Listen, Festive Augments, Ruby of Ghostbane, and those would be my picks. Oh, and Potions of Resto for the leftover chocolate. That would be my pick for those. These are new this year. Sentient Jewel of the Black Abbot. I'm not a fan of the Black Abbot, the ranting style of it, so I wouldn't particularly like that. I have listened to it. There is a little site online where you can go and listen to all the Sentient Jewels. My personal favourites are the Black Razor, which I have slotted in my main weapon there, and I don't have it because I think it came from the top pack for Saltmarsh. Is it the Gem of the Lizard Folk or something? And I just remember one thing that it goes sometimes when you make a kill and it'll stop and it'll say that one was tasty, and I always quite like that. Mount, as I mentioned, supposed to be purple. It's actually a kind of a royal blue. It looks nice. I've seen it on somebody's recording. It looks pretty nice, but it's definitely not purple. And of course, it's following this latest trend of 240, like 4 times. Is it 6? Yeah, 4 times the ingredients of the basic horse. Let me see if I can find where was the Yeah, so we've got a green one, 240. I think they're just wanting to give people something to do. And the red one, which I did hunt for back in the day for my character, Red Ruin. But the standard one, where is it? The standard one, I'm pretty sure is just 60 of each. So for some reason they upped it. These things I really can't decide. I loved the originals. I think the originals were lasting, were they about 10 minutes or something like that? This 40 seconds for a small boost on a 2-minute cooldown, so you've got to find it a place on the bar and click it all the time for a really small, relatively speaking, gain. I don't think I'm going to bother. My priorities are to keep these much bigger buffs going, and no, I'm not going to find a place for that kind of thing. I don't think I will for any of mine this time. It's just too small a thing, and it's too much of a faff to click. Had they been still the 10-minute things, absolutely, I would have gone for it. I'm not really a fan of this short-term thing. I suppose for the those wanting to squeeze out every last little bit, raid pushing or whatever. There we go. So it was even less than I thought. 50 of each for the standard Reaper's Steed, which I do have. I think you've probably seen it. I have the shield as well, the cosmetic shield. I mean, they're very reasonably priced. I don't know why those horses have gone crazy. Perhaps because they assume, probably rightly, that people have all the stuff from the past and they want them to run the event a bit longer. So let's triple or quadruple the prices of things and go at that. So yeah, truckload of cosmetics if that's your thing. I really should get the golden one for Fool's Year, being as he's called Fool's Gold. The only reason I don't is my guild leader back in the day helpfully advised me to put. I don't think you can get these anymore, but you could get, I think from the old winter event, these festival fire resistance, and there's another one for cold resistance that you could put onto cosmetic things. So the downside to that is I'm kind of tied in with this character, at least, to these two, because they're giving me 10 fire and cold resistance. And I guess they stopped it because they didn't want cosmetics being able to do that anymore. I think you could put them on anything. I don't think it had to be a cosmetic it went on, but it's obviously the cosmetic would not generally give any kind of bonus, so I think that's why it was a thing back in the day. So yeah, other than that, I would have given him the yellow one to fit in with. Although yellow armor, I don't know. I don't think that would have done it for me. So piles and piles of these different coloured cosmetics and what have you. I think we will. There's the first one, and it's dead cheap as well. Look, the Hood of Unrest. We've already spoken about it. One per character. Now it was back in the day. I think one use per rest, but I think people must have found an exploit to get more out of it than that, because then they put a 10-minute cooldown on it, which I fell foul of in a recent recording. Still an amazing item. Heartily recommend you pick one up for any character that you're serious about. Revelers Regalia, nice for any caster or anybody who groups with a caster, because it can go on a friend as well, as can the Hood of Unrest. So if you're grouping with a tanky type, you feel free to throw that on them for a boss encounter. I'm sure they would appreciate. Same for this, to chuck on to a caster before a tough fight. They come in docent form as well, these regalia. The rune armor, I have experimented with it in the past. It is a source of ghostly, so that's not bad if you have no other source of ghostly on your gear. That could be a thing. Not terrible by any means. The weapons themselves, again, they're a source of hitting the incorporeal targets, if that's a thing for you. Ghost touch. Otherwise, pretty unremarkable, I think. And there's a whole load of those. If you saw one you liked, you could make them from level 4. I think they go right the way up to 28. Have they actually added the new ones for 32? I'm not sure. Cloak of Night, another source of ghostly. Some DR on there as well, so not a terrible item, that. Again, coming in docent form as well, some of the things. I think there's another... Oh, this is the one that I used to get some mileage out of before the cranium thing in the new Wayloon pack that also gives Night Shield on a very long duration. This was one of my go-tos for anti-magic missile clickable. I think the duration gets a bit longer as you go up the caster level 14 on that one, 3 charges. But the best one I've found easily for this type of thing, anti-magic missile, is that well, it's the heroic version of this, isn't it? And I think in heroic, I think it actually gives, is it 14 minutes? So long enough to easy complete one quest. And even if you can't, it has 3 charges as well, the heroic version. In fact, is it there? Is that the heroic version? There you go, Cranium Sphere. That's the one I would recommend. That's totally overpowered for the level it comes available at, level 4. 14 minutes of shield clickable. Really nice item. But before that, or if you don't have that particular pack, which I think anybody watching now would do because you'd have used the code, the thank you 2025 or whatever it was called, and this particular pack comes in there, so I don't think you'd have too much of a need to go for this kind of thing anymore. That's the sad thing about progress, or power creep, I guess you could call it. It kind of blows yesterday's nice things out of the water. I don't think there's too much in there that I have done much of anything with. And here we go, we've got the level 32 versions as well. If there was something that had taken your eye, you can get something for it for the legendary cap, and same for the cloaks and things as well. So they have updated those. So for me personally, it's the cheap and cheerful stuff that takes my eye. The Hood of Unrest, the Revelers Regalia. I don't think I see anything too much beyond that. I'm not really too fussed about these caramels and these candies. There's such a short duration. I'm not really one for keeping a track of the cooldowns. On this build in particular, I have enough to keep a track of anyway, so I'm definitely not going to bother with that. And otherwise, it's pretty much just a pile of cosmetics, isn't it? So too long didn't listen. Hood of Unrest, Revelers Regalia, and they would be the two for me to focus on, and they're dirt cheap as well. So happy days. Okay, I think that about wraps it up. I just thought as I was doing a few runs through the event, I would interrupt the ongoing Spin for the Win series to bring you this one, seeing as it's going on at the moment. I do have something recorded with AtCap play for that, with blood, sweat, and tears. Let's just say I've substantially upped the difficulty on the legendary version. So if you like suffering and pain, you've got some of that to look forward to. Thanks very much as always for looking. Happy reveling, and I will speak to you soon. Take care.